Hi everyone, welcome to the Sri Lankan Geek Show. Today, as usual, I, Sumudu, and Isuru are here to speak about an interesting topic and also to speak about interesting stories of our life. So, before starting on with the episode, so Isuru, how have you been?
So we missed the last episode.
we missed last week. We tried to record May, but we couldn't find an alternative day also.
Yeah, we had to spend the whole day in the petrol queue.
Yeah, how about Petrol queue? What do you think about the QR system now? I think it's been out for a week from 1st of August.
So I think it has reduced a considerable amount of traffic for the most of the petrol sheds, but unfortunately the supply is not consistent.
Yeah.
That's the issue that I see. Even I went around in my area, like I passed 3 petrol sheds and all 3 are closed. And they doesn't have any petrol and diesel at all. So if the supply is consistent, I think QR is a successful project in Sri Lanka.
Based on my experience, we were able to pump fuel for our car. So we actually had to pump twice. So we had some petrol left in our car. So first on the 1st of August, so this Monday, we were able to pump fuel within around 3 hours. So there is a fuel station that is close to our house. So we got the news that they have unloaded the fuel and they are starting to pump. So we went and joined the queue at around 9 p.m. and we were able to pump fuel at around 12. So and also yesterday also not yesterday, today also I was able to pump fuel the remaining quota at around 2 hours. So I think the QR implementation has been able to help people actually. So prior to this QR thing, we had to wait around 2 days to pump fuel. So based on that number system also, we had to wait on the queue prior to the day that we are supposed to pump fuel to the car. So I think that traffic has been reduced because of the weekly quota. But as you mentioned, if the fuel supply is consistent, this would be a great initiative. So and I think there are a few Facebook pages that post about the fuel stations that will receive fuel on daily. So we track those and we try to follow those, but those data is sometimes not valid because our fuel station was not listed to receive any fuel loads on that day, but it received. So there are some inconsistencies on that. I think there is a government website that provides that information, but currently it was down. But I think I saw in some Twitter message that it is now up, but when I searched the petrol shed, they haven't updated those data.
Same here.
From I think June, I think they have last updated. I think it's fuel.gov.lk or something. We can enter the district and select the fuel station.
Yes.
If
I also tried the same, but the result is not updated and sometimes it's not working.
If that falls, if the government can provide a transparency to the citizens that this fuel station will receive the fuel load on this day, then this process would be more easier because we don't have to do any guesswork and go to the fuel queue.
Yeah, exactly.
So currently we are firefighters at home, my and father. So whenever someone says that fuel has come to the station, we stop everything we do and we get into the car and rush us to the queue.
Nice.
Now it has been a new norm. And I think like in the full like QR implementation also, I think from petrol station to station it is little bit different. So
Yeah.
our station, while we were in the queue, a person came and scanned the QR and asked us how much we are pumping, and then entered that in the system. But by the time we go into the fuel pump, that person was not around, so we could have like pumped the whole quota. But today, on my experience, so the person who scanned the QR and entered the number showed our car and said that this car only should pump this amount to the person who is there. But in other stations,
actually same thing happened to me as well. Even I pumped 12 liters and the person who punched the QR came to the pump and told that this car is only for 12 liters.
In some stations, the person who is pumping scans the QR and after pumped they update the quota. So there are like different ways. So actually, I don't think using a phone near a fuel pump is good. It's a good idea. And
I heard one of my friends said one person is plugged in his phone near to the power pump and scanning the QR code.
And entering the amount of liters that we are pumping before we are pumping is also somewhat difficult, because we have to like as you mentioned, we have to be like calculating and calculate the remaining amount in our tank. And I think even though there are like small issues here and there, I think that's a good initiative. So we should appreciate that in terms of like this.
It's not 100% successful, but due to the current crisis in Sri Lanka, so at least this initiative makes something for the sake of citizens.
And I think the government and ICTA people are improving the system as well. So recently they have like introduced a way to delete the QR profile. So there was a fraud.
I saw the button.
Some people used others QRs, so now we have the option to delete also. So I think they are improving.
Delete and recreate, right?
Recreate.
We can recreate the QR.
I think they are going in the correct path. So I think, but based on my opinion, this should have been done like ages ago. So when the government knew that there will be some fuel crisis, they would have started it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think last year, most of the specialist has like given the sign that Sri Lanka will face finance crisis at this time. So if the politicians were skillful at that time, they should do the initiative like this at that point. Then the citizens will they will use to this kind of system and do a better, like they will benefit themselves. Otherwise, most of the time when the crisis happens, the citizens will get panic and they will try to do different frauds. Like you said, that this should be initiated beforehand. Even though we have we had that skill set to foresee these kind of crisis. It's end of the day, it's a Sri Lanka.
I think, but I think this system and everything should be thankful for the people who went to the Aragali. So that human, that civil power that they showed actually made the government to do these kinds of things. So, I think
they realized that they should do something. Exactly. So since we talked about a lot of things about this QR, so do you know how the QR begin? Like who invented the QR? Like beforehand, like we had barcodes. Like we had barcodes way long. after the barcodes, then this QR has been invented by a Japan engineer. From he worked at Denso. I think his if I pronounce this correctly, his name is Hara Masahiro. So he also used barcodes to scan the company items. So since they have different categories and different groups of their company items, they had to use multiple barcodes. Because barcode is a very can maintain very little number of information. So to identify a item and the group, the category, everything, they had to scan multiple barcodes. So then he also wanted to do something about this, and according to his story, like he plays something some board game like it named Go in Japan. So it's like Dan or chess, as we know. So when he moving the board here and there, then he understood this kind of pattern can be used to present data, and he invented this QR, and it can contain like 200 times more information than a barcode. So then this was like a viral in worldwide. Now the usage is infinite, like we can use it for, there are unlimited of usage of QR code. That's the story behind a QR code.
So talking about that, I want to mention, like, I saw a meme saying that QR are also used to identify payers, so when doing a payment, the merchant and all. So there was a meme saying the foreigners are, I think, thinking that Sri Lankans are using QR to make payments for the fuel that they pump. Sri Lankans are that much developed in technology.
You know, like when the Sri Lanka bans chemical fertilizers in Sri Lanka, like even the most of the foreigners has tweeted that Sri Lanka is going in the correct path, and they have fully converted to biofertilizers, and they wished Sri Lanka for better future.
I think that transition should have been done in some sort of a way that makes sense, like 10% using bio, that type of chemical and organic chemical, and 90% using fertilizers without banning the whole thing.
They should select at least a region or at least a crop, like or coconut or any vegetables, like they should use a process like these kind of things. Like these has been like used more than like decades in Sri Lanka, so it's not possible to convert these kind of things in one night.
And I think with the way that politicians like marketed it to the people, so that is also wrong. So they mainly accused chemical fertilizers for the kidney diseases in the farmers, and they said that transition to organic chemicals will organic fertilizers will resolve that issue, and like that's how they so the politicians market themselves and market their parties. So I think they use that also as a marketing technique. But what I thought was, in order to avoid these type of kidney related diseases and cancers, what they could have done is they could have started initiatives to provide pure drinking water for for such areas. So mostly the water in that area gets affected by the fertilizers. So when consuming that results in kidney diseases and all. So they could have come up with initiatives to provide them purified water and all. And also slightly they could have transitioned to non-chemical fertilizers also. not like that. Audience might be confused because usually in the start of the episode we mention about a topic and we try to stick to that. But today we thought like since we have recorded around 4 episodes, we thought of keeping this episode as an open session, and today we will like talk anything that come to our mind.
Exactly.
And when mentioning about the episodes, so please watch the previous episodes if you haven't watched them, if you haven't listened to them. And also our episodes are on YouTube as well, so please go there and put a comment if you have any thing to add. So we'll try to talk on that as well.
If you have any questions, anything that we need to talk about, and you can put a comment and definitely we will consider it. So since we talked about petrol and vehicles, so Mudhu,
now I'm afraid of what you are going to ask.
No. Like like that the Ideal Motors has introduced electric vehicle Moksha. Those kind of things. I think it's good to see those kind of things in Sri Lanka. But let's see, like if it comes to the market.
Hope it is in our reach, not around 100 or 10 million.
Exactly.
Even the thermal are that bikes like the push bicycles that with the electric motors, they are also like
it's
very
like
expensive,
$500,000, right?
Yeah.
Near to $500,000.
So one of my friend also ordered one. So I think they are taking around 2 or 3 months to build it. So from what I heard from him is that they have like a Halo bike, the project bike, the ultimate bike, electric bike. So this is like a side project to build the fund to develop those bikes. So that's what I heard.
I saw an article, I don't know whether it's true or not. In India, the most famous electric bicycle, there were 2 brands, I can't remember the brands. Those brands like import all the electric bicycles from Sri Lanka. They have
really?
created they have created an agreement with Sri Lanka, and the Sri Lanka can export only to India those kind of bikes, and they can't sell in their region, like it means Sri Lanka. Now in Sri Lanka
we have to bring back
from India. Yes, exactly. I have seen some companies, I mean some companies, they have import from India, but the same bike, it's made in Sri Lanka.
So that can it be an Indian company where the workshop is in Sri Lanka, or is it a Sri Lankan company?
No, the workshop is in Sri Lanka.
It might be an Indian company.
Managed by India. All are working Sri Lankan people, Sri Lankan technology, and this business has been in Sri Lanka more than 5 years, as per the article that I have.
It's like the apparel industry, so it's the same, I think. Though the clothes can only be sold at their market. We cannot sell in Sri Lanka the clothes that they make.
So it's a kind of misery that we can't experience the Sri Lankan people's effort, and now we have to bring back from India. Nothing to do. Politicians. Again, politicians. So if I speak about this Moksha, like it's the latest electric car that has been made in Sri Lanka, as per the my knowledge. So it has been created by Ideal Motors, and they claim that it can be 200 kilometers per charge with AC. That's how they claim it. Let's see the price.
That's the big gift.
Should be practical, otherwise it will be a failed project in Sri Lanka. So most of the time, like these kind of things, like they trying to gain all the profits from the first 10 vehicles. So but they need to make a plan, and like spread this vehicle across the country
Yeah,
and sell it as much as possible and gain back the profits in the future.
yeah. In long
So-
time, long run.
Yeah, exactly, in the long run. Otherwise, again, it will be a failed project.
And I think not only about producing, manufacturing the vehicle, they should also like come up with some sort of charging network, just like what Tesla does in America and I think in Canada also.
A country like Sri Lanka
Yeah.
cannot initiate those kind of things at once.
Yeah.
So at least, so this vehicle can be charged at home.
Yeah.
So at least if the vehicle is famous
Mhm.
in Sri Lanka, those kind of things will initiated by individuals. Like at least the people who build these kind of vehicle,
Yeah.
like at least if they create a plan and make this possible to most of the citizens in Sri Lanka, those kind of infrastructure things will like be there automatically.
Yeah. So I think I'm not sure about this, but I saw one post that I can't remember the country also. So there has been a car similar to this model in the exterior appearance in another country that has been built.
Yes. I saw the same image. But okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
if the product
If the product is working and practical, and if we can reach it, then it's okay. Yeah.
Like Sri Lanka is not new to these kind of things, like to build these kind of electric vehicles. Like in Department of Mechanical Engineering in University of Moratuwa.
Yeah,
I think
I saw the post. I think.
Yes. I think they have built this vehicle in 1977.
Yeah.
The vehicle name was Vituliya.
Yeah. I also saw it.
Yeah. So even that time period, like there were initiatives like this, but every time when there is politics, these kind of projects is like
I think
stopped.
Yeah, the government should lend the hand to these kinds of projects.
Exactly.
And I think there has been some sort of like initiatives taken to allow people to import electric vehicles, right? I think that's for me. Is that only limited for foreign workers, or is it for everyone? Can't remember.
As per my knowledge, it's only for people who import dollars.
Who work, who earn dollars.
Who earn dollars, not import earn dollars.
And in one post I saw, I'm not sure about the legitimacy of it, that we need, if we import and buy that car, we need to fix, we can't charge it using the CEB current. We need to fix our own solar system. And charge it. There was a meme on it, and someone has commented, should we also build new roads to ride? Can't we ride on existing roads?
I also saw the same post. See, giving the opportunity and putting these kind of restrictions, like it's a comedy. Exactly. If there are any limitations, like they should ban importing and allowing them to import and giving these kind of restrictions, like it. I don't know how is this practical.
I think there is a concept called e-bike pooling or somewhat in other countries, where we can park the bike and another person can come and scan the QR. So those are also good initiatives, but I think the government should be rich so to start those and fund initiatives like that. In the Thermal Art website, I saw they have created a web page for that concept. I'm not sure when that will be implemented in Sri Lanka, because in recently, I think I can't remember the title. I think Rosi Senanayaka opened such kind of thing, but it's only for push cycles. And also it's made with, I think, 2 iron bars bent together.
In new initiative model, like they have also developed a formula, electric formula car that reached to 100 kmph like within 3.5 seconds. Like those kind of things also, like it's like even now Vega and they have also initiated some projects like this,
3 wheels and all also there.
3 wheels and all, but still they are not up to the level of like distributing all over the country.
I think one reason is that in order to do something like that, we need to have the government support also. Since the government cannot, like, don't have dollars to import the required fuel, so I don't think.
So what do you think? So if like now giving permission to the people who earn dollars to import electric vehicle in Sri Lanka, and giving these kind of restrictions, like they can put this money to Sri Lankan projects and improve their projects and allow people to buy these electric vehicles and give full freedom to charge anywhere. Go anywhere.
Government makes such decisions where we can't understand why. There might be some
like
type of commission behind it. That's the only explanation.
Exactly. When the politics come to these technologies, it's a waste of effort. Okay. So are we going to speak anything about Sri Lankan IT industry?
No, today we are like talking anything that comes to our mind. So we'll continue.
Excellent. Yes. So actually now this has been very popular, these kind of topics now these days in Sri Lanka. Electric vehicles, QR code, like even 5th grade children also talking about these QR codes. I also saw some video. The children are playing in the ground. How they play is like one person is coming through the bike, and they show the phone to each other, and bike is going another way, and another person is coming and putting a small tube to the foot cycle and pumping the petrol to a can. And again that child coming to the petrol shed. Those are their play now. That's how the Sri Lankan children are playing these days. Okay.
Do you have any other more interesting stories?
Okay. So since we talked about electric cars, so I also kind of very interested in these kind of electric car projects. Actually, I have subscribed more than 5 YouTube channels that the people is doing these kind of projects.
I also watched one series. You know about Jedrick, right? Jedrick. He created his own electric Hummer.
Yes.
I started, like, I watched the first few episodes, then I couldn't complete watching it because we have to keep in track with what he is doing. If not, like, we get lost in he explains it and that's it.
The main reason behind these kind of thing is like they have integrated a lot of technologies behind these vehicles. Now even in Tesla, now the features that we see in Tesla, they will never reach these kind of features using a combustion engine system. Because the capacity and the power that they have, like, they will never reach out to it.
Instant torque.
Yes, exactly.
And also there are like features where if we go camping, we can turn on the AC whole time, and also if we like leave the pet on the car, we can turn on the air conditioner. And I think some BMW cars also have this. If we, like, from the phone app, we can trigger the air conditioning system so that when we go to the car, it's not up. So
Hot.
like, yeah, it's not hot. So usually in Sri Lanka, if we like park in and
Yeah,
outside in the afternoon, it's like a microwave.
Exactly. So they have they convert most of the even classic cars to electric.
Yeah, yeah.
The main reason is like easy to maintain. Like once they converted into electric car, they doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they can charge it and run it. Like after the battery lifetime is reached, like they can switch the battery and continue
that's the
it
only
again.
degradable part.
Yes, and we doesn't have to change the oil, like power steering oil. Everything is electric. So even the power steering is it's a motor. We don't. It's not hydraulic. So we don't have to change any of the oil.
So
I
like
think
if you like go on a Tesla, there are no service to be done, right?
Yes, exactly.
Only if something fails, we have to go to there.
Yes. So maintenance is very easy. That's the main reason I think most of the people switching these kind of like classic cars to electric. I owned a 4DR5 Jeep, a 4-wheel Jeep. Like it's a very, very old Jeep.
Yeah.
So every time, like I had to spend most of the time in garages to repair the engine, gearbox, like because it's very old.
Yeah, and there are no parts, also we have to like custom make nuts and bolts, and
Yeah.
we have to walk in Panchigata to find the specific part.
Yes, exactly. So even like in some garages, if they realize this classic car, their charges also in a different level. So it's like if we able to convert these kind of vehicles to electric, like,
but
we can use this.
I think there are like both sides. So there are still some people who like their combustion engines, who like the feeling of a manual gearbox, who likes that sound and all. So what do you think about? So even in a Jeep, like if that doesn't make the sound that it makes, does that affect the driving feeling you will get when you're like going off road and all? It doesn't make any sounds, only tire noises just going up. No gears to change, just press the pedal and it just goes.
Yeah, like we had the same like feeling when I'm switched to manual gearbox to auto. I also had the same feeling. I don't have to switch gears. But now I never want to switch back to manual gearbox.
I think for normal daily users, auto gearbox is the ideal thing. So, but for those enthusiastic people and for the people who race against each other, then there are advantages in manual gearbox. And now for racing also, I think auto pedal shifting gearboxes are faster when shifting gears. The time it takes. But I think if you like drifting and all, I think you need a sequential gearbox, right? Pedal
drifting, yeah, maybe. But even now the supercars, F1,
supercars,
F1, Super McLaren, Ferrari, like they doesn't have.
They are not sports cars. They are like supercars. Sports cars are like Toyota GT86, Lancer, those type of things are sports cars.
So the most of the time when it's come to rally and those kind of things, like I think they preferred manual.
And
but in the future those kind of also like will be changed.
If
every rally car will come, like even now some rally cars are electric. so they don't have to switch gears.
If everything is converted to electric, then switching gears will be something that is fast.
So even if they want to switch gears, they can simulate, but no point.
It's similar to that artificial car sounds that feed to the cabin.
Exactly. Yes.
In the early days, though, I can remember my parents also talking about it. There was like a rumor, not rumor, there is a myth. I think not myth. It's a story that manual gearbox cars are efficient than auto gearbox cars. So I recently watched a video saying that they have tested and they proved that it's a myth. But in the early ages of auto gearbox, it was true, as they said, because in the earlier days, since the auto gearbox mechanism was new, there were only like 1 or 2 gears in auto gearbox cars. But in the subsequent manual gearbox, there were around 4 to 5 gears. So in that case, going in low gears obviously degrades the fuel consumption. But my parents, like even in Sri Lanka at around 2005 or 6 also, they thought that manual is efficient. But at that time, the auto gearbox mechanisms were so developed and there were around 4 to 5 gears. So I think the new normal will be electric, and in around 50 to 60 years there won't be any gears in cars. Just put to D and then go.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you can press the D.
No need to put those.
So it's like you said, so when new technology comes to the field at the beginning of time, like they are very basic. So
and there are many drawbacks also. So in EV, I think the main drawback and the main concern many people are talking about is about the range
and the battery. So the battery technology will also improve in the future. Even in the battery technology, for past 5 to 6 years, the battery technology was not developed. We use the same chemicals, same concept throughout like half of a decade, the same technology and same chemicals. So now people since they have identified that some chemicals will not be exist in the future, now they are experimenting different chemicals and different technologies to build new batteries. So it's so in the future we will be able to see very efficient and batteries way ahead than the batteries that we are currently having today. Let's hope for the best.
And
before we die, before I die.
But if you plan to stay on Sri Lanka, I don't think such technology will come to Sri Lanka. I think the best EV experience that we can get is if we go to either America or Canada. I think if we are in that country, the best vehicle to own is also Tesla, because it's seamless. There are charging stations everywhere, and for the first year I think the fast charging network access is also free. So there have been comparisons done also with going the same trip with a fuel car and also an EV car. So the cost is drastically low, but the time is more, because we have to go to the station and wait until it gets pumped. But in America, I think most of those charging stations are also integrated with malls and that kind of thing. So we can keep the car and go and eat ourselves and refresh ourselves.
To come to that kind of level, the whole country infrastructure should be improved. Even one millionaire comes to Sri Lanka and create Tesla high charging points all over Sri Lanka and giving all the Teslas to buy to Sri Lankan citizens. Even we were capable of buying those cars. Now let's assume like we are going to Jaffna, and in the night there is a charging point, and we have to stay at the charging point at 3 hours. Now are we confident to stay like beside of A9 road? People are not there, no like security, nothing. Like that's the thing, like the whole infrastructure should be improved in Sri Lanka, the culture, everything should be improved.
I think it should be done from the bottom up. So
Exactly.
the way that the past governments developed is not suitable for a country like Sri Lanka. I saw an interesting article on that, but I can't remember what it exactly said. So in contrast, what it said was in countries like Sri Lanka, so we should not think that developing a highway, developing a new airport is the way for like development to make the country sustainable. So like the money that they spent on building that Nelum Kuluna could have been invested on a project where like the farmers are educated and farmers are given the required equipments and all. So based on that article, that's the correct way to improve. So it should have been done the other way around. So yes, the highways are beneficial for us. It reduces our time, but more priority should have been given to the sources that makes revenue inside the country in building that. So obviously, I think I don't see any advantage in having a Nelum Kuluna. The only thing is when we are going to Colombo, we know that it's Colombo. That's the only purpose that it serves, as I know. I think they initially planned to have some restaurants and all right up in there, but it didn't work out.
They said like their film hall will be there and reception halls and
have you gone up there?
Rotating restaurants. No, like we don't have access, right? Even now we can't.
But I can remember once it was opened, they showcased the rotating restaurants and all, right? I think it was open for the
is
public.
It functioning now? I
don't think so.
Even to like switch on then rotating, like
there
they have power.
No power in Sri Lanka.
You know, like since like you said, no power in Sri Lanka. You know, like America, they switched off their power grids for 2 minutes every year to honor the Edison. Now in Sri Lanka, we every day honor the Edison for 2 hours.
Yeah. So I think that whole system should be built for us to expect that some kind of EV technology coming to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, exactly.
That infrastructure should be built first. Yeah. Let's hope that this government and the new governments to come will realize it. So now, I'm not sure will that work, but some initiatives have been made, so correct steps have been made by the current president now, but we'll hope that it will work.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take this opportunity to tell the people, especially for the young generation, who are stepping into to any industry, or the people who finish the education or who are planning to do the education, don't lose the hope. Even though there are any lot of issues or there are financial crisis, and there are a lot of uncomfortable experience that you will have to experience throughout your life. Don't lose hope, and yes, so everyone, you can be a successful person, even though the government a few, but don't worry.
I think there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, so we'll also go through this, but count I think I saw another post where there is a Ford Mustang and a BMW i8 in the fuel queue. So that post was shared saying that even if you are rich and very rich, if the government is poor, it doesn't matter.
You have to experience the
so adding on to what you said, so all the countries go through these types of crises. So even at now, I think the GDP of America has fallen back based on what I hear, and also other countries, other third world countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh are also facing these kinds of crises. But and Sri Lanka also have faced these kinds of crises back in 2005 and 10, I think. But at that time, the governments that we had was able to manage the crisis in the background, so it didn't impact the citizens like it did now. So what most of the economists and other people say is the mismanagement made this crisis more led into a way where the citizens also get effects. I think we'll manage and we'll come out of this most probably. Yeah, let's hope.
Exactly.
Let's hope it's done near soon. So
exactly. So do you know, Samudhu, like every one of us are successful persons. When there was a good story behind this in a human baby.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say about the sperm, right?
You know what I'm going to say, right?
I saw that. I also saw that post. I think we are following the same kinds of people.
So I'll say it for the audience, for the sake of audience. So we both know what what is this? So man produced like 400 millions of sperms.
Yeah.
So at the end, you are a successful sperm.
Yeah.
So you have defeated millions of sperms and came to this world. So don't lose hope.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. Like Sumudhu said, there is a light in the end of the tunnel every time.
Yeah.
So this is the dark time. So be strong. Yeah. That's the only thing that I can tell at this moment. Even I am in dark now. My laptop
Literal
will
dark.
be dead within few minutes because in our area the electricity board is honoring the Edison. Like so Samudhu, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah. We are facing an electricity crisis as well in the middle of this.
Yeah.
I think we talked a lot today. When it's compared to other episodes, I think that's not a lot, but we were able to address many hot topics that we have currently due to the fuel and electricity crisis. I
think these kind of episodes should be there time to time because to motivate the people and to understand the situations in the currently now we are facing in Sri Lanka. So Sumudhu, I think
I think you need time to honor Edison. So
exactly. So I think Sumudhu, in the next episode, I think we can bring something important to the people who are willing to come to in IT industry or who are looking forward to a job.
In the IT industry.
Or internship. Like let's bring something in that area in next episode.
We'll try to come up in time to time. We'll try to add an episode just like this. So if you also if the audience also have anything interesting to talk about, so just add it in the comments. So we'll try to talk on that as well. And I think we can wind this. So it was a short episode when it's compared with other things.
Compared to the others one, exactly.
It's power crisis from the morning. So he has been honoring Edison all the time.
The whole day. Exactly. So I think
let's wind up.
So
See you guys in the next week. We'll try to do it in next week also. Sorry, maybe we couldn't do it in the last week. We had several things, and also we had to experience fuel queues. So,
Yeah. Even though like Sumudu, you said you were like you you were working as a firefighter. You ran out when you were in bathroom, right?
yeah, had to do. Then bye. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye bye.